The moment unfolded like a lightning strike. Live on national television. Caitlin Clark glided through her all-star draft picks, then paused, eyes gleaming with mischief. With a casual smirk, she announced the unthinkable she was trading away. Cheryl Reeve, the very coach who'd cast her aside from the Olympic roster, and bringing in Sandy Brondello as her new mentor. Fans are shocked that a draft meant for friendly banter transformed into a ruthless power play in an instant. Emotions ran high as cameras cut to Sabrina Ionescu, who had just been assigned to Clark's side. Her jaw dropped, eyes widened, and for the first time this season, the Nick Livewire fell silent in stunned disbelief. Whispers swept through social media. Did Sabrina just witness the coldest move in WNBA history? Insiders now claim that text messages leaked from Sabrina's inner circle reveal a whirlwind of panic, confusion, and heartbreak. The family was left divided when Sabrina's closest confidants debated whether she should stand by her rookie, rival, or reclaim her own destiny. Tonight, we peel back the velvet curtain on this sensational saga, unpacking every whispered motive, every emotional reaction, and the drama that no one saw coming. Buckle up, because this story of betrayal, power, and redemption is only just beginning. The arena was still buzzing with anticipation when the draft segment began. But no one could have predicted what happened next. Sabrina had just received her assignment to Team Clark, a pairing that on paper seemed perfect. Two rising stars united by ambition and raw talent. As she took her seat beside Caitlin, Sabrina offered a warm smile, eager to share the spotlight and celebrate the game. She was mid-laugh at a joke from the host when Clark leaned forward, her gaze fixed directly on the camera, and uttered words that froze the broadcast in its tracks. "I don't know if this is in the rule," she said, her tone casual yet charged with intent. "I don't really care. We just made it a rule." Before anyone could process her meaning, she added, "So Sandy Brondello, come on over." Sabrina's jaw dropped. Viewers at home gasped. The pundits fell silent, and in that heartbeat, the draft transformed from festive fun into a calculated power play, as Sandy rose from the opposing bench and crossed the stage to join Caitlin. Sabrina struggled to process the betrayal. Her mind raced. Cheryl Reeve, her mentor, the coach she had trusted, was being sent to the rival camp. Her heart pounded, not from competition alone, but from the sting of public humiliation. Memories of her countless hours studying under Reeve flooded back, the late nights in the film room, the drills that honed her handles, the pep talks before every big game. Reeve had believed in Sabrina when others saw only potential, and now Sabrina watched as Reeve was traded away with a smirk. In the green room just minutes earlier, Sabrina had joked with her teammates about the playful atmosphere of the draft. Now she sat motionless, the laughter replaced by a hollow ache. Backstage, cameras captured Sabrina's hand trembling as she reached for a water bottle. Teammate Kayla Charles noticed and leaned over. "You okay?" she whispered. Sabrina shook. Her head, words lodged in her throat. Tears threatened to spill as the weight of the moment settled on her shoulders. Across the room, Collier, who had been sitting nearby, watched in concern. "That was savage," she murmured. But even she could not hide the admiration mixed with shock. The family of Sabrina, tuned in from New York, watched the scene unfold. On their living room TV, her mother sobbed softly, shocked that the league she had embraced for years would allow such a brutal schoolyard move. Her father, a former coach himself, sat rigid, fists clenched in disbelief. The family was left divided between pride in Sabrina's poise and pain at her public heartbreak. On social media, the reaction was immediate and fierce. Clips of Sabrina's stunned face barreled across Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Fans are shocked at the audacity of the trade and at Sabrina's silence. Commentators debated whether Caitlin's move was a landmark moment of player empowerment or a reckless exploitation of a rookie's trust. Some praised Clark's boldness, calling her queen energy, while others lambasted her for disrespecting a coach who had built careers. Hashtags like #scribe, betrayal, and #respect coach flooded feeds. Sabrina's own followers posted messages of support. "We see you, Sabrina. She didn't deserve that. Stay strong, queen." But the outpouring of sympathy only deepened Sabrina's anguish. She had been thrust into a spotlight she never wanted, her loyalty questioned and her confidence shaken. Meanwhile, in the press area, media members scrambled for clarity. An incredulous reporter cornered Caitlin, microphone extended. "Caitlin, why trade Cheryl Reeve? She was assigned to you." Clark smiled, shrugging casually. "I had to make a statement," she replied, her voice steely. "Cheryl left me. Off the Olympics? I deserve to choose my leadership." The host stammered, trying to recover. "But that wasn't in the rule book," he protested. "Sorry, Wenba, if that's not in the rule," Clark quipped, eyes blazing. "We just made it a rule." The clip went viral, viewed millions of times in hours. Sabrina watched the replay in the hallway monitors, each playback twisting the knife in her chest. Later that night, Sabrina met with Reeve in the locker room now shared, wouldn't you know, with the opposing team. The room smelled of sweat and eucalyptus spray, a strange backdrop for an emotional reunion. Reeve, ever composed, reached for Sabrina's hand. "I'm so sorry you had to see that," she said softly. Sabrina's eyes glistened. "They made it look like I agreed," she whispered. Reeve squeezed her hand. "You don't have to defend it," she assured her. "We'll navigate this together." Charles and other teammates hovered nearby, respect and sorrow etched on their faces. The family bonds that sport had built now faced a test greater than any opponent. The trust between player and coach had been publicly shredded, and both wondered if it could ever truly heal. The next morning, practice was electric with whispers. Reporters camped outside the facility, eager for interviews. Sabrina walked in wearing sunglasses, her head held high despite the turmoil. Cameras flashed as she stepped onto the court. Her teammates formed a protective circle, shielding her from prying questions. Coach Marsh called for silence, beginning the warm-up drills. The ball bounced, sneakers squeaked, and Sabrina forced herself to focus on fundamentals. Every layup, every shot was a rehearsal in regaining control. When Collier lobbed her a perfect pass, Sabrina finished with a thunderous dunk that echoed through the gym. For a brief moment, she felt power return to her body. The dunk was a statement. She would not be defined by Caitlin's trade. In the stands, fans who had camped overnight for autographs held signs that read, "We stand with Sab and betrayal won't break you." Their cheers as Sabrina scored punctuated the drama with loyalty. Yet for some, the display felt hollow. They wondered if the loyalty would last once new headlines emerged. Sabrina, noticing the signs, managed a small smile, gratitude flickering in her eyes. She waved to the crowd, sending a silent message of thanks to those who believed in her. The adoration buoyed her spirits as she navigated the maze of locker room politics and media frenzy. Off the court, closet conversations revealed hidden alliances and fractured loyalties. Some veterans whispered that Caitlin's move would backfire. That Team Clark lacked cohesion without their original coach. Others argued that Clark had simply outplayed the system, and now Sabrina had to find new ways to thrive under Sandy's guidance. Texts leaked between NBA scouts speculated whether Sabrina would demand a trade of her own next season, that her allegiance was no longer certain. Her agent, hearing these rumors, grew concerned. Might she jeopardize endorsements or team relationships by continuing to resist the narrative? Sabrina knew her choices carried weight beyond the court. Every step would be scrutinized, every reaction dissected for hidden meaning. Amid the whirlwind, Sabrina retreated to a quiet hotel room, seeking solace in her journals. She wrote of her childhood when basketball was her sanctuary, not a battleground. She recalled the first time Reeve praised her on national TV, tears streaming at the validation. She penned days when Caitlin's meteoric rise had inspired her, not intimidated. Now, in ink, she wrestled with betrayal and identity. Could she rise above the spectacle, Or would she forever be the rookie wronged? The page blurred as tears fell. She closed the journal, inhaled deeply, and resolved to find her voice again. Not through drama, but through her game. Just as Sabrina prepared to sleep, her phone buzzed with a video message from Collier. The text read, "Meet me tomorrow. I have something for you." Sabrina's thumb hovered over the play button until curiosity won. The video began with Collier, wearing Sabrina's favorite headband. Holding an oversized poster of Sabrina with the words, "My captain, my coach," scrawled in rallying script. Tears welled as Collier apologized for the chaos and declared her unwavering support. "We'll show them who we are," Collier ended. Sabrina's sobs turned to determined nods. In that moment, she felt the first threads of healing stitch themselves together. Daylight broke on the second morning, and with it came fresh challenges and fresh hope. Sabrina stepped onto the bus for the team road trip, clutching Collier's poster. She sat beside Sandy Brondello, whose calm presence had become a lifeline. Brondello offered a gentle smile and began to outline new strategies, new plays, new ways to blend their strengths. Sabrina listened, absorbing every word. Although the wounds of the draft night remained raw, she recognized that new alliances could be forged in adversity. The broadcast of their joint practice sessions would soon hit social feeds. A deliberate move to reclaim the narrative, team unity reborn from division, as the bus rolled out of the arena's parking lot. Sabrina looked out the window at the city. Skyline, reflections shifting like her own emotions. She thought of her family divided, of the fans who cheered and those who doubted. But most of all, she thought of Cheryl Reeves' steady guidance and Collier's unwavering loyalty. In her pocket, her phone buzzed with messages of support from unexpected Corners League commissioners praising her grace. Former rivals offering solidarity, young players thanking her courage. Sabrina realized that this story was far from over. The betrayal of a draft night had sparked a deeper exploration of respect, leadership, and the true meaning of power in women's basketball. And as the bus sped toward the next arena, she steeled herself for the journey ahead. Ready to write the next chapter of her own legend, one not defined by trade drama, but by her resilience and unbreakable spirit. The next morning, Sabrina woke. Before sunrise, her mind replaying every moment of the shocking coach swap. The draft had ended, but its repercussions were only beginning. She slipped into workout clothes and quietly left her hotel room, determined to find clarity on the empty practice court. The gym lights flickered on as she stepped inside, her sneakers squeaking softly against the polished floor. She dribbled, then paused, closed her eyes, and inhaled deeply. Betrayal still stung, but she reminded herself that resilience is built. In the quiet hours before dawn, Coach Brondello arrived shortly after, carrying 2 basketballs. She greeted Sabrina with a calm nod. "Today, we rebuild your confidence," she said. They started with fundamentals: partner passing, pivot footwork, foot speed drills. Sabrina attacked each movement with a controlled intensity, replaying Brondello's words. She felt the weight of expectation from fans, family, and her own ambitions pressing on her. By focusing on the ball's rhythm, she temporarily escaped the roar of social media and the glare of cameras. The gym doors opened. As teammates trickled in for their pregame shoot-around, Tara Watson offered a reassuring smile. "We've got your back," she said, slipping into her corner spot and launching a 3. Sabrina returned the nod, though behind it lay a swirl of gratitude and lingering pain. The drama of that night kept flickering in her mind, those seconds when Caitlin Clark had casually dismantled the draft's rules and her trust. She pushed the memory aside, channeling it into each shot, each cut, each defensive stance. Outside the windows, the city's morning bustle began. Taxi horns, joggers on sidewalks, newsstands filling with papers headlining the trade scandal. Sabrina glanced up, wishing the headlines could instead celebrate her skill, her leadership. She sprinted across the court, practicing Euro steps and drop step hooks, refusing to let the noise define her story. Practice ended with a scrimmage. Sabrina took the ball up court, weaving through defenders as if chasing redemption, finishing with a reverse layup that drew cheers from coaches and staff. Small victories like this reminded her of her talent's power to heal. After practice, Sabrina retreated to the team's film room. She set up the projector and reviewed footage from yesterday's practice and the draft clip itself. Caitlin's smirk felt like reopening a wound, but she needed to understand that moment so it wouldn't unmoor her again. She paused on the frame where Caitlin said, "Sorry, WNBA, if that's not in the rules," and then studied her own shock. She traced her own expression with a finger, vowing never to be caught off guard again. Later, the team convened in the locker room for a strategy session. Wooden benches creaked as players gathered around Sandy Brondello, who had prepared a series of set plays designed to maximize Sabrina's court vision and explosive first step. Sabrina listened intently, nodding as Sandy mapped out each option. Afterward, teammates practiced the plays in small groups. With each repetition, Sabrina's confidence grew. She felt the whispers of fans or shocked fade under the steady hum of teamwork. The camaraderie, the shared purpose, was healing her fractured spirit. After team meetings, Sabrina received a text from her parents. "We believe in you. Stay true to yourself." Tears welled, but this time they were tears of strength, not sorrow. She sent back a photo of her court shoes lined up in a neat row. "Watch me," she wrote. The reply came instantly. "We will." She tucked her phone away and headed to the weight room, determined to transform every ounce of hurt into muscle and resolve. In the afternoon, Sabrina hosted a virtual Q&A for aspiring players around the country. Dozens of young fans logged in, their tiny faces glowing on the video grid. One by one, they asked questions. How do you handle pressure? What do you do when you feel betrayed? Sabrina shared her mantra: focus on what you can control: your effort, your attitude, your work ethic. She spoke candidly about her draft night pain, about the importance of resilience. "Betrayal hurts," she said, voice strong, "but it also teaches you who you are." The kids' messages of gratitude filled up her chat window, building a bridge between her heartbreak and their hope. That evening's game loomed. As Sabrina changed into her uniform, she found a quiet corner of the locker room. She closed her eyes and visualized the court, the ball, the tearaway marquee announcing tonight's matchup. She saw herself making plays, commanding plays knighted with her teammates. She replayed the morning's drills, the free throws that swished in, silence, the scrimmage layup. By the time she laced her shoes for real, her nerves had settled into electric anticipation. When she jogged onto the arena floor, the roar was thunderous. Fans held signs, #SaberBuild and "No trade can stop us." The energy was contagious. Though Sabrina's heart still thumped in her chest, she felt a surge of belonging. She greeted each teammate with fist bumps and smiles, absorbing their faith in her. The buzz of the crowd faded into a steady pulse as the game began. In the first quarter, Sabrina moved like a force of nature. She drew defenders, dished slick assists, and attacked the rim with fearless drives. Every pass reinforced her leadership. Every rebound, her determination. Her teammates fed off her energy, rallying around her embrace of solidarity over scandal. The bench, once tense, exploded with cheers at every highlight. Cameras cut to Caitlin Clark in the stands for charity guests, a rare respectful nod from her that Sabrina caught in her peripheral vision. Their eyes met briefly, a gesture of rival acknowledgement. I promised that this story was far from over, but would now be written in unity as well as conflict by halftime. Sabrina's stat line was glowing: double-digit points, dazzling assists, critical rebounds. Reporters scribbled notes: comeback complete, rookie avenger, the league's healer. In the locker room, Sandy Brondello poured water bottles and delivered a concise message: we build on this. Second half, same focus. Sabrina nodded, shoulders squared, reminding herself that this victory was not an end, but but a milestone on her journey in the third quarter. Sabrina faced a crucial test. An aggressive defender bumped her mid-drive, drawing a whistle. As she stepped to the line, the crowd held its breath. Each free throw was a symbol of her regained poise. Each swish a testament to her resolve. She locked eyes with her father. In the stance's encouraging nod grounded her. She completed the 1-and-1 with calm precision and sprinted back on defense with renewed fire. As the final quarter unfolded, the game remained tight. Sabrina and her teammates executed flawlessly. Backdoor cuts, sharp rotations, unselfish assists, with seconds left and a slim lead. Sabrina inbounded to a cutting Arcadia. She drew 2 defenders and kicked back out to a corner shooter whose three-pointer iced the game. The buzzer sounded and the arena erupted. Sabrina raised her arms, the roar washing away months of pain. Postgame. Reporters swarmed Sabrina, fielded questions with grace. Tonight was about more than a game. It was about reclaiming our narrative. Betrayal introduced us to our hurdles. Teamwork showed us our strength. Her words resonated far beyond the arena, capturing hearts across social media. Back in the locker room, teammates hoisted her in. Celebration. Sabrina laughed, tears of triumph mingling with sweat. Walking off the court, Sabrina spotted Cheryl Reeve waiting by the tunnel. Reeve smiled proudly and embraced her player. "You found your power," Reeve said. Sabrina rested, her head on Reeve's shoulder, whispering, "We found it together. We found it together." That night, Sabrina's phone buzzed with messages from across the sport. Fellow players expressing solidarity. Coaches praising her resilience, legends offering mentorship. She saved each message as a beacon of the path she'd rediscovered. In the whirlwind of scandal and redemption, Sabrina had reclaimed her identity, not defined by another's betrayal, but by her own unwavering spirit. And as she drifted to sleep, she knew that this victory was only the beginning of a new chapter, one written by her courage, her loyalty, and her unbreakable will. The city lights blurred past the bus windows as the team rumbled toward the next arena, but Sabrina's mind was fully present in the moment. She replayed the victory from the night before, her teammates' cheers, Reeve's embrace, the reporters' questions, but also felt the undercurrent of uncertainty that still rippled through the league. Commissioners were reviewing the draft night. Swap fans were still debating social feeds, and Sabrina knew a single misstep could drift her back into controversy. She pressed her hand against the cool glass, drawing strength from the steady hum of the tires on asphalt. Arriving at the hotel, Sabrina carried her duffel down the silent hallway, pausing outside her room to collect herself. She opened the door and flicked on the lamp, bathing the space in soft light. Her phone buzzed, a reminder of tomorrow's morning shoot-around. A text from Charles saying, "Big love," and a video from Clark saying, "Be ready, we're up next." Sabrina quarantined the distractions on a corner table, then walked to the mirror. She studied her own reflection, eyes bright with determination, shoulders squared with purpose. "This next chapter is mine," she whispered. The next morning, Sabrina entered the practice court at sunrise. The quiet was a stark contrast to the electric tension of game night. She bent low for defensive slides and lunging footwork, muscle memory guiding her through each repetition. Brondello stood at half-court, clipboard in hand, nodding approval. "Focus on your reaction time," she called out. Sabrina responded with rapid closeouts and recoveries, the ball bouncing off rims in the echoing hall. With each drill, she rewrote the narrative not as the rookie wronged, but the leader forging a path forward. Near mid-morning, the team gathered for film review. Sabrina found her spot at the table, headphones snug, eyes on the screen as clips from the previous game rolled. She watched her no-look pass to Collier, her clutch defensive stop, her steely free throws. When the coach paused on a second, late game possession that could have swung momentum, Brondello asked, "What could we have done differently?" Sabrina spoke up, calmly dissecting angles, rotations, timing. Her voice carried the confidence of a veteran. Her critiques showed humility and a deep understanding of the game. Teammates nodded, their respect for Sabrina deepening as she guided. Discussion. After film, the team broke into position drills. Sabrina worked on pick-and-roll options with Watson, twisting through traffic, hitting spot-up threes in rhythm. Each made shot felt like reclaiming another piece of the court that had seemed stolen by that draft night drama. Around them, the arena staff prepared for the evening's game. Courtside seats turned, concession stands stocked, lights tested. Sabrina noticed the staff's friendly nods and smiles. Even strangers recognized her determination to move beyond. Scandal. Later that afternoon, Sabrina met with the front office for a community outreach planning session. She sat alongside the team's director of community relations, discussing an upcoming event at a local children's hospital. Sabrina listened as the director outlined logistics, equipment donations, meet and greet schedules, motivational speeches. Then Sabrina added her own idea, a court of gratitude station where kids could write thank you notes to their heroes. Gratitude shifts energy, she said softly. The director's face lit up, and soon they were mapping out a new initiative. Another way Sabrina could channel her journey into positive change. As evening approached, Sabrina's nerves returned. The arena doors opened early, and fans lined up, many holding signs that read, "Sabrina shines and betrayal made me stronger." In the locker room, Sabrina pinned a small note inside her jersey. "Remember who you are." She glanced at Cheryl Reeve, who stood nearby reviewing scouting reports. Reeve offered a thumbs up and a smile, a silent promise that Sabrina was not alone. Collier's text flashed again, "Go light it up." Sabrina pocketed the phone, grateful for allies who believed in her. When she stepped onto the court for warm-ups, the roar was immediate. The crowd surged to its feet, their chants of Sabrina filling every corner. Sabrina dribbled through her pregame routine, spinning the ball, pulling up for mid-range jumpers, finishing toe-to-toe with the rim in practice dunks. The noise faded into background hum as she concentrated on the feel of leather in her hands, the tension in her legs, the promise of the game ahead. Tip-off began with a crisp exchange between Sabrina and Collier. They ran a quick give-and-go, a visual symbol of their reclaimed unity. Sabrina spun free for a layup, the ball kissing the glass, and the crowd erupted. Her teammates Watson, Charles, Collier crowded around, fueling a bond forged through adversity. Sabrina felt the surge of team energy, each play a further step away from betrayal and toward collective triumph. In the second quarter, Sabrina's tenacity on defense shone as she stifled a key opponent's drive, forcing a turnover. She sprinted the length of the court, launching a transition layup that vaulted her stat line. The announcer's voice echoed, "Sabrina Ionescu delivers again, turning pressure into performance." Cameras panned to Caitlin Clark in the stands, capturing her focused expression. Sabrina acknowledged the nod of respect with a slight tip of her head, no words, just mutual professional recognition. At halftime, Sabrina sat alone in the locker room, towel draped over her shoulders, replaying the game's highlights. She thought of her mother's proud tears, her father's encouraging words, Clark's respectful nod, and Reeves' unwavering support. She closed her eyes, letting the montage of support and success wash over her. This was her path, resilience, sculpted through hard work, compassion, and unmatched skill. The third quarter saw Sabrina orchestrate the offense with surgical precision. She drew defenders, dished to Collier for a corner three, and slipped to the basket for a quick pass from Watson. The synergy was palpable. Her actions ignited her teammates, transforming tentative plays into a symphony of unselfish basketball. Each assist, each screen set, each rebound underscored her growth as a leader, her identity no longer tied to betrayal, but to her ability to elevate everyone around her. In the final quarter, the game tightened. Sabrina faced an aggressive double team. She pump-faked, created space, and drained a step-back jumper that staked her team a 5-point lead. The shot drew thunderous applause and relieved grins from teammates on the bench. As the clock ticked down, Sabrina hustled back on defense, contesting a three-point attempt that rimmed out. Her coach called timeout, praising her impact. "You changed the game on both ends." Sabrina nodded, adrenaline coursing through her veins with minutes remaining. Sabrina found herself at the free throw line for a 1-on-1. The arena fell. Silent, she bounced the ball, centered her focus, and sank both shots. The cushion felt insurmountable to the opponent. The final possession came, and Sabrina leveraged her veteran savvy to control the ball, drawing fouls and managing the clock. Until the final buzzer. Victory was sweet, but even sweeter was the sense of self-reclamation. Post-game. Sabrina met the press in a curtained-off mixed zone. Flashes stung as reporters clamored. She fielded questions about her resilience and unity. Tonight was about proving that respect is earned every time we step on the court. "I'm proud of my team, proud of myself." Her words were met with nods and appreciative murmurs, proof that her narrative had shifted from betrayal to triumph. Back in the locker room, champagne bottles popped as teammates celebrated. Sabrina looked around at her smiling colleagues, no echoes of draft night. Tension remained as the team boarded the bus that night. Sabrina settled into her seat, the wind still glowing in her chest. She scrolled through messages of support, fans, former players, community members expressing admiration for her grace under fire. She realized her journey had created ripples far beyond the court, a testament that even the most public betrayal could be transformed into a journey of empowerment and leadership. The bus departed under a sky lit by street lamps. Sabrina closed her eyes, heart full, thinking of the next dawn, when practice would start early and new challenges would arise. But she also knew that whatever drama lay ahead, she carried within her the proof that resilience and integrity could outshine any scandal. As the wheels rumbled on, Sabrina Ionescu drifted towards sleep, confident that her legacy would be built, not on headlines of betrayal, but on the enduring power of her spirit. The following morning, Sabrina woke to the soft glow of dawn filtering through the hotel curtains. The bus ride home had been filled with quiet reflections and thumbs up from supportive fans on social media. Now she faced the final chapter of this saga, proving that her resilience wasn't a one-game wonder, but a sustained testament to her character. She laced her shoes in the quiet room, each knot a promise to herself. "Today, I cement my legacy." Walking into the practice court, Sabrina found the team already in motion under Sandy Brondello's watchful eye. Today's focus: building on chemistry, strengthening trust, and fine-tuning end-of-game situations. Sabrina dove into partner shooting drills, her release fluid and confident. She fed Kayla Charles a perfect pass, then sprinted to set a screen on the other side, embodying unselfish leadership. Teammates responded in kind, no hesitation. No lingering doubts, just synchronized execution. Next came defensive shells, and Sabrina anchored the scheme with discipline. Each closeout was crisp, each rotation seamless. She shadowed her assignment like a guardian, forcing tough, contested shots that clanged off the rim. Coaches nodded, impressed by her focus. In the stands, media cameras rolled, capturing highlights of Sabrina's all-around brilliance. These weren't mere clips, they were a narrative rewrite in real time, from wounded rookie to tenacious leader. After practice, Sabrina met with the front office to finalize details for the Court of Gratitude event. Tables were to be laid out at the community center with paper, markers, and story-sharing prompts. Sabrina's eyes brightened as she envisioned children writing notes to the people who inspired them. Any lingering sting from Caitlin's trade seemed distant amid this purpose-driven work. She realized her platform's power extended far beyond the hardwood. Later that afternoon, Sabrina sat for a live virtual interview on a national sports network. The host opened with the inevitable question. "Sabrina, Caitlin's trade shocked the world. How do you feel about it now?" Sabrina paused deliberately, then spoke. "At first, I was hurt. But basketball is bigger than any single moment. It's about teamwork, resilience, and using adversity to grow. I appreciate the support I've received, and I'm focused on leading my team to success. Her measured tone and genuine warmth resonated with viewers. Her composure became the headline. As evening approached, Sabrina prepared for the day's game against a top conference opponent. In the locker room, she found a hand-painted banner. Sabrina, strength, soul, success. Teammates beamed as she ran her pre-game routine. Dynamic stretches, ball handling drills, three-point rhythm shots. Every bounce, every swish, rebuilt her confidence brick by brick. When Sabrina stepped onto the court, the arena erupted. SAB chants echoed off the rafters. She sprinted through fast break drills with her trademark blend of grace and power. Each layup, each assist, each rebound reinforced the truth. She belonged here. Unshaken. In the first quarter, Sabrina orchestrated the offense like a seasoned maestro. She surveyed the floor, identifying mismatches, dashing into gaps, dishing. On the move, her vision unlocked open looks for teammates, the ball moving with precision. On defense, she anticipated passes, deflected lanes, and communicated relentlessly. Proof that trust forged in adversity could translate into seamless teamwork. Midway through the second quarter, Sabrina found herself matched up against the opponent's star guard. The physicality increased, bump screens, aggressive hedges, battles for positioning. Sabrina responded with poise, using her body to shield the ball, slipping into driving lanes, finishing through contact. The crowd rose to its feet. Sensing the urgency, this was a proving ground for Sabrina's sustained excellence. During a timeout, Sabrina received a wrist tap from Coach Brondello. "You're elevating everyone," Sandy whispered. Sabrina nodded, absorbing the encouragement. She refocused on the huddle strategy, a set play involving a backdoor cut for a high-percentage shot. Executing flawlessly, she found Tara Watson for a layup that extended their lead. The bench exploded, affirming Sabrina's leadership. The third quarter saw Sabrina's all-around mastery, points, assists, rebounds. Commentators marveled. From draft night betrayal to this, Sabrina's resilience is rewriting her rookie narrative. Sabrina shrugged off the praise, focusing instead on the next play. She knew the game wasn't won until the final buzzer. In the final quarter, the opponent mounted a furious rally, chipping away at the lead. Sabrina called a quick timeout to steady the team. In the huddle, her voice rang clear. "We've come too far to let headlines dictate our fate. This is our time." Teammates locked eyes, unified by her conviction. Back on the court, Sabrina sank a clutch mid-range jumper, then delivered a no-look assist after crossing her defender. The crowd roared. The final possessions featured Sabrina's veteran Savi, rowing fouls, controlling the clock, managing every second. When the buzzer sounded, the scoreboard reflected a hard-fought victory. Post-game, reporters swarmed Sabrina in the mixed zone. She fielded questions about her performance and the enduring impact of the draft trade. Her response: "Today was about basketball. Adversity sharpened us. Unity sustained us. That's the story we'll tell." Reporters nodded, capturing her quotes for headlines that would celebrate her triumph, not her betrayal. Returning to the locker room, Sabrina was greeted by Cheryl Reeve and Caitlin Clark, both offering hearty congratulations. Reeve's eyes glistened with pride. "You're unstoppable." Clark extended a respectful fist bump. "You showed everyone how it's done." Sabrina's smile was radiant evidence that bridges could be rebuilt even after the most public rifts. That night, Sabrina's phone pinged with messages of support from across the sports world. Seasoned veterans praising her grit. Young players inspired by her grace, community leaders grateful for her outreach efforts. She saved each message, a testament to her influence beyond the court. As Sabrina prepared for bed, she reflected on the journey from that draft night shock to her sustained excellence. She realized that the true victory lay not in a single game, but in the power of resilience to transform shame into strength, betrayal into unity.